So ever since making new all-time highs back in May, June of this year, Zbcn has been trading sideways. But I can tell you guys right now, it won't be trading sideways forever. There are signs. This is a video you do not want to miss, that is for sure. But remember, nothing here is financial advice. I could always be wrong. Make sure you guys do your own research. Now, real quick before I get into things, for anyone looking for a great crypto exchange, check out my link to BTCC. You get 10% bonus on first time deposits, extra bonuses up to $10,000. It requires no VPN, no KYC. If you're someone that trades using leverage, you get to use up to 500x leverage. Right now, they've got a promo happening where you can win 300 USDT. All you have to do is sign up using my link. The link for BTCC will be in the description down below for anyone that's interested. But getting into the video here, if we kick things off by taking a look at the crypto bubbles, we can see that it's a red day for the most part. The market has been pulling back over the last couple of days. We're seeing a whole ton of green action, but obviously it's a weekend, and typically on the weekends the market wants to do this because it's low volume. People are out having fun and stuff, I guess. But that's okay. The pullback that we're experiencing right now in the market isn't that bad. Ethereum is still over 4,500, Bitcoin is still over 120K, so that's good news if you ask me. Okay, now check this out. Right now there's a lot of eyes on BNB. BNB in the last 24 hours is actually up 1%. BNB is sitting at a $160 billion market cap. A lot of eyes over here right now. Okay, if you come over here to Dex Screener, for anyone that's familiar with Dex Screener, you're familiar with it if you trade meme coins. Okay, we can see that there's a lot of BNB meme coins on the first page. Look at all of this. This is quite unusual. But here's the thing. Eventually, BNB is going to top, and then what are people going to do? They're going to move on to the next big thing. Okay, you see, right now is not the time to be flip-flopping all over the market, trying to FOMO into every single play, every single narrative, every single hype. Right now, we need to stay focused. We need to focus on what we know, the obvious. And the obvious is payments is a massive thing for the crypto space, this cycle, and moving forward in the world, right? Crypto payments is here, and we know this. So we need to be focused on where the market is potentially going to go next, and where they're going to go next is probably rotating back into something payments related. So that's XRP, that's Zbcn. And when you check out the charts for XRP, or the price for XRP, XRP is sitting at $2.96. It's pretty much trading sideways for an extended period of time. Okay, now if you guys have been following my videos, what I always say is when a coin is just trading sideways, people don't want to make articles about it. People don't want to make videos about it. Nobody cares about it anymore because the price isn't going up. But when you Google XRP, look at this. People are still talking about this, right? Even though the price isn't moving, people are still talking about XRP. And that is because the sector that it's in is it's just massive. Okay, so eventually people is going to rotate money back into something like XRP, back into something like Zbcn. And with Zbcn sitting at a much, much cheaper market cap than XRP, sky's the limit for the price on Zbcn. I know some of you have a price target of $1. Can it get there? Who actually knows where this bull cycle is going to what this bull cycle is going to bring us, but anything is possible. I still have my target of like 10 cents, and then after 10 cents we can start talking about $1. Now if you Google Zbcn, you can see that people aren't really making articles about Zbcn, but guess what? That doesn't matter, because we all know that a rising tide lifts all boats. And as long as there's still eyes on XRP, there's still eyes on the entire sector. And Zbcn continues to make the right moves. If you guys have been watching my Zbcn videos, you know the sorts of moves that Zbcn, the Zbcn team, have been making. All right, so it's only a matter of time, but you're going to have a little bit of patience, and patience is going to go a very long way. Now, let's come over here to X and see what people are saying about Zbcn. So I never noticed, but Zbcn is available on Coinbase self-custody. And by the way, shout out to everyone that bag works for Zbcn, because I always tell you guys, if you're invested in a coin, okay, you need to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it and the next person doesn't talk about it, the next person doesn't talk about it, then how do you expect the coin to really take off if no one knows about the coin? So shout out to everyone that continues to talk about Zbcn on X. Shout out to everyone that makes Zbcn videos. It's only a matter of time before everybody really picks up and Zbcn really gets towards that next level. Once that rotation happens again and everyone is focused back on crypto payments, it's going to get very interesting. It's going to get very, very interesting very fast. All right, now if we check out the price action for Zbcn, it's sitting at 0.0041. In the last 24 hours, where is this thing? It is basically flat in the last 24 hours. In the last week, it's up almost 12%. On the month, it's up only 4%. But the price has been holding pretty steady over $300 million market cap, somewhere between $300 to $400 million market cap. So what that tells me is all the people that came in to trade Zbcn, they just wanted short-term gains. They probably have all left at this point. And the people that believe in the project are the ones that's still holding Zbcn. Now, the 24-hour volume is up almost 30% there. And I want you guys to check this out. And I feel like I show you guys this every video now. So the token unlock, we have a unlock that's going to happen on October 15th. And the amount of supply that's going to be unlocked is just over 1%. All right, and moving into March of 2026, just over 1%. So that's not much, definitely in comparison to previous unlock periods, right? And this is why we haven't been seeing massive sell-offs on Zbcn, because typically in the past, a couple weeks leading up to the token unlock, that's where people start to sell because they got nervous. They didn't know what was going to happen. They want to make sure they sell before the next person sold on them, right? But we're not really seeing that anymore. And that's because the unlock periods, it's very small, just over 1%. So people aren't really panicking that much anymore. And it's pretty obvious when you take a look at the charts. Okay, the community sentiment's still pretty high. 89% of people are bullish. And obviously, we're still missing a Coinbase listing, which could happen any moment. You never know. We've talked about a potential Coinbase listing in previous videos. And who knows, maybe Binance will even list this thing one day. You never know. But at least we still have potential catalysts in the future, something to look forward to. Okay. Now, if we take a look here at the Zbcn charts, okay, let's zoom in a little bit. So this indicator shows that we're still in this bearish momentum, which is fine. I don't really care because when you take things in, you can see that Zbcn has been, let me remove this out of your way for a second. Zbcn has been trading sideways for an extended period of time, right? Like I said at the beginning, this thing was at 0.0070 and this was back in like end of May, beginning of June. Right, and ever since then, it's just been in this, what I call, accumulation zone. All right, now it did break out of this pattern that I had drawn in, but it looks like it wants to break back into this pattern. All right, we can see that the bottom, and I have it circled in, is pretty much around 0.0035. So that's where I am looking, or that's where people should be looking to scoop up some great deals on Zbcn. You could do a slow DCA if you really like the project and you want to get in now. There's nothing wrong with that. But the bottom, in my personal opinion, is somewhere around 0.0035. And the market is moving in a favorable direction right now. So it's hard to say when we'll get these sorts of levels again on Zbcn. All right, but I'm liking what I'm seeing for this project, right? They're making the right moves. The price is currently in accumulation zone, which I'll take. I'll take accumulation zone rather than dump, right? So yeah, Zbcn is honestly doing its thing. And if you have a long-term mindset, if you strongly believe that the payment sector is here to stay, then you have to be bullish on something like Zbcn. You have to be bullish on something like XRP and other coins as well. But like I said, once a sector gets moving again, something with a $300 million market cap will enter the billions in the market cap. It'll definitely cross $1 billion market cap. That is for sure. Okay, but now, like I said, some of you have some really high price targets for Zbcn. Let's see, XLM. If it was to reach a price target of XLM right now, that is still a 33x from where the price is at right now, and that'll bring Zbcn to 15 cents. You know, if we get a crazy bull cycle, I don't see why Zbcn can't hit 15 cents. And a 33x is great returns on your investment, depending on how much you put in. If you put in $100, obviously, I mean, it's not going to be life-changing returns on just off of $100, but make sure you guys invest safe. I believe that the payment sector is here. Invest what you can afford to lose on all the coins in crypto. You know, you don't want to put in too much money in any particular coin because you never know what the next Trump tweet is going to be. But yeah, Zbcn is a solid project if you ask me, man. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Check out the links down below, and until next time, Take care.